I'm Andrea Beaty. I'm the author of the Questionnaire series, and I'm here with David Roberts, the illustrator, who is amazing. Hi, David.
Hello, Andrea, and hello, everybody.
And hello, Mr. Gonzalez's class. Thank you for the amazing letters. It was such a joy to get to be able to read them and to be able to answer some of your amazing questions today.
Yeah, you had some really interesting questions, actually. And I'm going to start with the first one. This is for you, Andrea. And this question says, what inspired you to write this book? Is it based on something real? Mm.
Well, so I was inspired to write a Lila Greer Teacher of the Year from David's illustrations because in Iggy Peck Architect, David created this beautiful classroom of kids. There's Lila, and we get to see Lila Greer as a little kid in that story. And she has these really beautiful, and she has this little bun, this big bun on her head. And I've always been curious about that. But we get to see her through a few of the books. And I wondered, what else do we know about her? What is she like? And so I wanted to explore her story. And one of the things it's about is about being anxious because she has a lot of worries and what ifs. And I think many people do. I know I did as a kid, and I still do sometimes. So I kind of wanted to explore those things. And then David created this beautiful, beautiful art and just made the world so gorgeous from that. That's a good question.
It's a good question.
Yeah.
What else do we have? So this is a question for you, Andrea. When did you become an author and why?
Well, I became an author when I was about 30. I studied science in college and high school, but I didn't know I wanted to be a writer. But when I had kids, when I was about 30, and I started reading great kids books, and they were so beautiful, and the illustrations were so amazing, that I decided I wanted to start writing. And so that's kind of where it happened. So it has been such great fun. And then I've gotten to meet these beautiful, marvelous illustrators like David, which brings me to a question. David, how long does it take you to do the illustrations for a book or for a Lila Greer specifically?
Right. So for a picture book like Lila Greer or Iggy Peck, these books tend to take me about a period of, say, 6 months from start to finish. So I start with just the story that I read, that you send me, Andrea, and I read through the story and I start to imagine which parts of the story I'd like to illustrate and where we should turn a page to get the best impact for the story so that we don't reveal too much all in one go and you have a nice flow throughout the story. So you work out where you're going to have your page turns, and then I can start planning my sketches. So often I start with character sketches. So for the questionnaires books, the characters already exist because we made them all up in the very first book, Iggy Peck Architect. So I don't have to think too much about designing the characters because they're already there, but it will be other things like the world that they live in. What's their house like? If I've got to draw one of their bedrooms, for instance, what posters would they have on the wall? I think about all of those things, and then I sketch all of that out just in pencil to very, very thin paper called layout paper. And then I send my roughs to you and to our publisher. And providing everybody likes it, then I get an approval to go to artwork, and the artwork then takes me probably, I'd say, about 4 months to finish for a book like this, because it has probably about 20 full page spreads, including the cover and the title page and things like that.
David, so can I ask you a question of my own? Do you ever, what do you use to draw them? Besides that kind of paper, do you use computers? Do you use inks or pencils, or what are your tools that you use?
So I do everything drawn because I don't know how to use a computer, because I'm from a very, very long time ago, prehistoric times. And so I don't know how to use computers. So I draw everything on paper, and I always start my drawings with a red pencil. And the reason I do that is because I can be very, very sketchy with my red pencil. And then I can sort of make all my mistakes that I want to make and do all my workings out. And then I can go into the drawing with a HB pencil like this and tighten it all up and finalize things and put extra detail in. So I then, when I get to the stage where I'm doing the final artwork, that will be done onto a paper, which is quite a thick paper. It's called an artist's watercolor paper, and it is called hot pressed paper. So it's very smooth. And I then use watercolor, and I use pens like this to draw my outlines. These are called graphic pens, and they come in different sizes. So you get 0.5, 0.1, 0.3, and you can get different thickness of line. And ink sometimes, colored pencils sometimes, just mixture of different types of things that will make the marks I want them to make.
That's so cool. So kids wouldn't need like really fancy computers and things to make amazing art.
No, you just need a pencil and a piece of paper. And if you even haven't got a pencil, you can use something else to draw with, you know. So anything that will make a mark, you can draw with.
Oh, that's fabulous. That's fabulous.
Yeah. Right, what else have we got here? Questions. Oh, Andrea, this is a question for you, I think. What other books have you created? Actually, it's a question for both of us, really. Yeah. What other books have you created?
Well, so we did the questionnaires, which is Iggy Peck, architect, Rosie Revere, engineer, Ada Twist, scientist, Sophia Valdez, future pres, Aaron Slater, illustrator, and Rosie, Lila Greer, teacher of the year. And we also have many books outside this world with other people, but you're showing now the one which might be my favorite. And can you tell about it?
So this book is called Happy Birthday, Madame Chapeau. And Andrea very, very kindly wrote this book for me because she found out that before I became a children's book illustrator, I used to make hats. That was my job. And I'd make all sorts of fancy, wonderful hats out of all sorts of wonderful things, lovely fabric and flowers sometimes, and straw and felt and things like that, and all sorts of lovely things. And when Andrea realized that I'd been a milliner, that's what I was called, she wrote a book all about a milliner who makes hats but actually loses her favorite hat. Well, actually, she doesn't lose it. It gets stolen by a crow, by a sneaky crow that you can see there that flies off with her favorite hat. And she tries on many other hats, but none of them fit her quite as well as her favorite hat. Then something happens at the end where somebody gives her another hat that becomes even more special to her. So it's a really lovely story.
Yeah. Ooh, I should say also we have chapter books, and these are my two favorite chapter books because David created the most hilarious art inside them, and they're really fun. They're for any age kids. I hope you'll read those this year, particularly in the States, because we're having a big election. And there's things in here that I think can help everybody understand what's going on. Like, what does it mean to vote and how to do that? And also there's a big conversation about banning things. And this is what happens whenever somebody tries to ban the snakes at the zoo. And they're very funny, and they're really a good read. And the illustrations are amazing. So, there's another set of questions here. So we'll do these fast. Okay. The questions are, do you have a family? Do you have pets? And what are your favorite hobbies? Okay. Go, Dave.
So yes, I have a family. I don't have any pets. I did have some pets. I've had many pets in my life. When I was a little child, I had a pet rabbit called Violet. And then I had a pet newt called Newt the Newt. And then I had a pet goldfish. And then I got two cats. I loved my cats. They were called Oberon and Eugene. I think those names might be familiar to cats in one of our books.
They are. They're Aaron Slater and the Sneaky Snake.
And what about you, Andrea? Family, pet?
Yeah, and hobbies. I've got all those things. I have a husband and two grown kids who are 30-ish. And we have a dog, a Labradoodle named Josie. Her name is Josie T. Labradoodle. T stands for the. And my hobbies are gardening and reading and going for walks and bicycle rides. That's kind of what I
Oh,
do.
how
And then
lovely.
I take a lot of
Napping.
naps. Naps are
Yes,
good. Then.
that's
Yeah,
the best hobby.
it is. It is. Hey, oh my gosh, those were some good questions, weren't they, David?
Yeah, thank you so much for writing to us with your wonderful questions. We've really enjoyed reading your letters.
Yeah, and thank you for reading our books and sharing them and having great conversations about them. And we hope you continue to have a fabulous, fabulous year. Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez, for being the most amazing teacher. Thank you, guys. Be well.
Bye.
Bye.